Good evening, everyone. This is your host, Amelia Pitbull Chapman, with another episode of Wrestling with the Future. You heard me correctly. Wrestling with the Future is back. Along with me tonight,
Yay!
along with me tonight is Michael Armageddon Murphy and Angelo Mad Dog DeCipio.
That's
How are you guys
me.
tonight?
I'm doing well. Mike and I are coming off a really nice high from last night. We got the interview with a real, genuine mafia insider, a guy who literally knows where the bodies are buried.
That was a fantastic show. I watched that show. It was wonderful.
What'd you think of that show, Amelia?
I loved it. It was great to hear the insight of a guy that was in the inside, as you may say, with the mafia people, is it, or mafia guys, the
I'm going to be
brothers.
monitoring the chat room tonight, and I'm going to tell you, we have a brand new person in our chat, Daryl Willie. Daryl,
Hello.
welcome to the show. I appreciate
Welcome.
you being here.
And
Thank you. I think Daryl is listening on YouTube.
Oh,
How you doing,
hello.
Daryl?
Welcome, joining us tonight. Bring your friends. This is a family environment tonight. Well,
Absolutely.
mostly family. We're
Well,
talking about family.
I'm going to
Kenneth
say
is back too. Kenneth
hello.
Jared Singleton is back. Is that the gentleman that's in love with Amelia? It might be.
I'm going to say that I am a little upset that we couldn't use Ring the Bell, but I'm going to say it anyway. But I am so happy that Wrestling
Yes.
with the Future is back. But I am going to say that, well, we did have Ring the Bell at one time, but Wrestling with the Future will continue as always. And we are
Yes. Well,
bringing.
here's the bottom line, Amelia. I'll cut to the chase for you because
Okay.
sometimes you're very long-winded and you like to
Well,
talk.
I'm about to tell you that we were going to be talking about Chris Benoit. That's what I was getting to.
It takes you 3 hours to say what I
Oh,
can say in
be quiet.
10 seconds. What Amelia's trying to get at is
Ay.
tonight we're going to put a button on the Chris Benoit. For now, anyway, let's put it this way.
For now, 18 years later, for now.
Closing the case on Chris Benoit. For now.
Unless.
We say we say for now because every time you turn around Armageddon, there's new information popping up about the Benoit case. So, what do we really know, Mike, so far in 18 years? What do we know?
Well, in 18 years, we know a lot more than we did. I still don't believe Chris Benoit did it. I believe that we took the sheriff's version of what happened and blew it out of the water.
Absolutely.
And we were listening to some phone call tapes, and I think I might have picked up something new on that.
We are going to hear those tapes tonight in full. You're going to hear everything that we have so far. Willard Wright is actually, your timing, Willard, is perfect because we have the entire 4-minute and 20-second audio from Chris Benoit, from the police. This is what they have. Now we have it. I will tell people in full disclosure, the first portion of what you're hearing came from YouTube.
Yes.
The others came directly from the case file. The information we have that we're using tonight all came from the official police case file. Because it's the only official file we have to use it. Nothing else exists to us right now. We can speculate, and all we can do is speculate. Yeah. Now, we might be speculating on the button, or we may be completely off the mark. I think that we're closer to the mark than people think.
Oh, absolutely.
That said, welcome, everyone.
Yes.
To Wrestling with the Future with the Pitbull. I will be monitoring the chat room tonight, so you're going to hear a lot from Amelia and Armageddon, Michael Murphy tonight. Amelia.
Yes.
So this is your gig tonight. So tell me, what do you think about what we've done so far?
I think we've pinpointed that, of course, it is somebody that he knew. It was very comfortable, and the family always welcomed into the home because there was no forced entry into the home.
Well, we know that.
Yeah. So
what else? What else do you think we know?
and of course that let's see, Chris Benoit was into the drugs, of course, and we all, of course, know that. And he was.
Oh no, we no.
Well,
No.
his not drugs,
We
but
don't
not
know
drugs,
that.
but
No,
not
no,
drugs.
no, no. We have.
That's not what I meant.
I have to stand. I have to
Right.
stand you down.
Not drugs. That's not what I meant. But
Hear me.
Mhm.
Hear me out. I have to stand you down here
Mm-hmm.
because there is absolutely nothing in the official police report
Mm-hmm.
that says that Chris Benoit had any drugs in his system. Nor do we have any proof that he ever involved himself with illicit drugs. Did he do steroids?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
yes.
what I meant. Steroids. That's what he was into steroids.
Got to
and stuff like that.
clarify what we're talking because
Right.
drugs is
Mhm.
a very broad word.
Right. No, I meant
So,
steroids.
hold on,
Right.
Amelia. I got to stand you down, please. I got to stand you down
Mhm.
because you don't have the facts right.
No,
And they do not want it. Please. I do not want this show to misrepresent the factual information. This is a legal matter. We have people for that. I'm not going to get myself in the middle of a legal quagmire.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So, that said, again, I'll ask you the same question. What else do we know in 18 years about the Chris Benoit case?
Yeah. And of course that we all knew that Nancy was killed first, and then the son, and then of course Chris was killed after that.
We think.
And we believe that it was not a murder-suicide. We believe that it was murder.
I absolutely believe it was murder.
Yes.
Absolutely believe it was murder. For sure.
Yes.
Michael, I'm going to let you take the lead on this. We're going to hear tonight from the audio in this case. You and I and Amelia, before we went on the air, we were listening to some of this audio. Without giving away, Mike, the contents of the audio, describe for the people the nature of what you're hearing in as clear terms as possible.
Well, what I heard was I heard somebody having a conversation. The person was definitely under the influence of something. Because you can't really make a lot of sense out of what he's saying at first. You heard some voices in the background, and I think listening to the tape would probably give a better idea of what I'm saying.
Did you know Eddie Guerrero relative Chavo said that he talked to Chris and heard him sound normal, but once he answered the door, he sounded drugged? Well, but that's what Mr. Murphy's referring to. And apparently Chavo even said that on a podcast with Chris Jericho, that he thought Chris answered the door, that there was a struggle. Now, answering the door and saying there's a struggle and answering the door and saying he sounded drugged sounds to me, Mike Murphy, like two different stories. So are we hearing Chavo change the story here?
It's possible. I really didn't hear anything of a struggle.
Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Well, we didn't hear the whole thing. That's what I want you to listen to. We're going to do something right from the get-go. Now, I have a disclaimer that I need to tell everyone. What you are hearing is as it was recorded in real time. We have no say over what is on this tape, on this audio at all. It has not been edited, doctored, or messed with in any way, shape, or form. We will swear under penalty of perjury to that in a court of law. This is a legal matter tonight. When we're talking about Chris Benoit, it's a heavy legal issue because a lot of people can be implicated here. So I want absolutely factual information. What you are hearing on this audio tape is absolutely factual as it was recorded. We do not know who is doing the recording, but we do know that at least 3 people that we can tell are on these recordings. Let us listen.
Parker, this is Benoit again. It's about 5 to 2 in the afternoon. So I'm bullshit with you, man. Find out what happened. I was talking to one of the production crew guys on the flight home into Atlanta. He said you kind of got shafted over, and that really fucking sucks. But, you know, if there's anything I can do at all, man, please give me a call and let me know. And, you know, fuck, man, you know, nothing changed the experience. Like, nothing could be better than experience, and you got that. It's like, you know, I'm talking shit right now. I don't know what the details are off the top of my head, but hope all's well with you, man, and just missed you the last couple of weeks. Wondering where you're at. I hope you're doing well. If you can, when you get the chance, give me a call. Take care, man. Hope all's well. Bye. But, you know, you know, if there's anything I can do at all, man, please give me a call and let me know. And, you know, fuck, man, you know, nothing changed the experience. Like, nothing could be better than the experience, and you got that. It's like, yeah, I'm talking shit right now. I don't know what the details are. So, Parker, this has been long again. It's about 5 to 2 in the afternoon. So I'm bullshit with you, man. Find out what happens. I was talking to one of the production.
I'm going to stop this for a minute because I just got something in our chat that's blowing my mind. Mr. Murphy, let me read this to you. Those are cops talking in the background. That was recorded at the police station, is what I heard. Does that jive, Mike, with anything that you might believe?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't to me either because it sounds like
chatter.
It sounds to me like Chris is at an airport. It sounds like he's at an airport. Yeah. Benoit reacts when the kid's voice is crying. Yes, he does. We're going to listen to this. Here we go.
Crew guys on the flight home into Atlanta. He said you kind of got shafted over, and that really fucking sucks. But, you know, if there's anything I can do at all, man, please give me a call and let me know. And, you know, fuck, man, you know, nothing changed the experience. Like, nothing could be better than the experience, and you got that. It's like, yeah, I'm talking shit right now. I don't know what the details are off the top of my head, but hope all's well with you, man, and Just missed you the last couple of weeks. Wondering where you're at. Hope you're doing well. If you're jangle when you get the chance, give me a call. Take care, man. Hope good day. Good day.
What you're hearing now, folks, is an open telephone line. We are assuming, based on the police report, that this recording took place inside the Benoit house the night he was murdered. I'm not going to say the night that he died because we don't believe that he died from suicide. We believe he was murdered. So what you're hearing, and please, if you hear anything on this that you think might be of interest, let us know after this recording is finished. Because you're going to hear this a couple times tonight. Okay. All right. I made some notes. We can debate this. By the way, our chat room is blowing up. So here's what I spent days doing this. Clip 1 is the full phone call. Noisy background, people talking. Maybe an airport or transit depot is what I picked up. Clip number 2 sounds tired or drugged. I'm going with Murph on this one. He sounds drugged. Definitely someone talking to him off to the side. Voices can be heard along with background noises. Clip number 3. Daniel Benoit crying. The child can be heard in the background groaning in pain while Chris Benoit is on the phone. Again, there are other people present. Number 4. An emotional Benoit can be heard begging with someone. The audio is not terribly clear, but the emotion in his voice appears that he may be on the verge of crying. It appears that Daniel Benoit is being used as a weapon to get Chris to do what they want, they being the intruders. Clip number 5. Back to the original phone call for more analysis. And clip number 6. Ambient background noises, people talking and things clearly being moved around, drug across the floor.
That's what I heard.
Metal can be heard clanking in the background like that associated with a weight machine. Okay, I'll shut up now. Mr. Murphy and Amelia, it's all yours. I'm going to run the chat for you.
Well, when you said something about something was being dragged on the floor, I thought I also heard the name Mike on the last clip too.
I thought I heard that also.
Yeah, I thought that too, and that was kind of weird. I was like, okay, who would be saying Mike? And then there was like dragging bodies or something heavy on the floor. I don't know. That was kind of weird with that phone call. What do you guys think about that? I thought I heard that too. And that was weird. Sullivan and Mike Graham.
I definitely heard.
Yeah, see, somebody said Mike said so. They heard somebody saying Mike as well. That's what I thought. What did you think? What else did you hear?
I definitely heard Daniel Benoit saying, Mama, like he's calling out for his mother, like he's looking around for her. I didn't hear him moaning in pain, but it does show me that if he's saying a mama, like he's looking for his mother, well, obviously he's still alive at that time.
Yeah, he's got to be. Yeah. And okay. Do you know anything about what that guy is saying about his Benoit was able to get out of his WCW contract?
Yeah, it had nothing to do with it. That's part of the fabrication from the rumor mill. There's no truth to that whatsoever. No provable truth. Again, we have to deal in facts tonight. What do we know? Here's what we know. We know Chris Benoit was on the phone. We know he spoke to someone, at least one person named Mike. We know he spoke to Mr. Parker. Mr. Parker's name is, hold on a second. I will tell you here in just a second. Let's see.
Well, you're looking that up, Angelo. Did you hear the name Mike as well?
I did. Absolutely. Michael Parker. That's who he's talking to.
Okay.
Mr. Michael J. Parker. All right. Here's what someone said in the comments in the chat. And I have this here. And again, I want both of you to weigh in on this. I don't want to be the only one weighing in on this.
No,
in fact, I'd rather not even be. I'd rather the two of you just had a conversation. If you listen to the last voicemail sent by Chris Benoit to Mr. Michael Parker, you can hear people in the background while Chris is on the phone talking. You can hear someone say, "I will strangle you." You can also hear Daniel in the background saying, "Mommy," or "Mama." We assume Nancy has already been killed by this point. I assume, and here's why I assume, again, as I made my point clear earlier, if you are a mother and you hear your child saying, "Mama, Mama," I don't care who you are, you're going to come running to your kid.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Okay? Unless your child is running around the house looking for you going, "Mama, Mama," as in, "Mama, where are you?" So there's a couple ways we can take this mama comment. But the Mike Parker, that's who Mike is. Michael J. Parker. His name is Michael Joseph Parker. We already know who he is because the police have cleared him. Murphy, you have an interesting thought on this that you shared with me regarding the alarm company. Would you share that with the world, please?
Yeah. It was a theory that I had that maybe it might have been an obsessed fan who worked for the alarm company. Because, I mean, if you think about it, if it's an alarm tech, he knows the codes for the alarm to get in and out. He knows the lay of the land. If anybody were to see him there, they wouldn't, even if somebody were to ask him, "Hey, what are you doing here?" "Well, I work for the alarm company. I'm just checking things out." Nobody would give that a second thought. To me, it would be the perfect way to get in, do the deed, and get out without anybody noticing you.
Right. It's an interesting theory. It's one that has plausibility. But now we talk about plausibility versus the likelihood of that happening. So we have to go from executing theory to executing common sense. So common sense would say, how likely is it? Is it plausible? Yeah, absolutely. I could go with that.
Yeah.
But how likely is it, Amelia Pitbull Chapman?
Well, very likely because, I mean, like you said, obsessed fan. They knew the code, no forced entry. And then of course, they have UPS drivers. They had people coming in from Amazon delivering packages. I mean, look at that angle as well. No
Well,
forced
I don't
entry.
think it was. I don't
So
think it was the alarm tech, and I don't think it was an obsessed fan. I'm going to tell you why.
Right.
Chris Benoit was 245 pounds of solid muscle.
Right.
He was 5'10". People think he was short because he had short legs. Chris Benoit was a big upper body guy. He was all upper body strength.
Right.
You don't think he could take an alarm tech?
Oh,
I don't care
absolutely.
how
Could.
big he is.
Yeah, he could take anybody, basically. Yeah.
So how likely again? You're talking out of both sides of your mouth now, because you said on one hand, yeah, I think it might be an obsessed fan, but on the other hand, you're agreeing with me when I say that that there's no way an obsessed fan's going to get. They're not going to overpower Chris Benoit. They're just not.
No, they're not gonna. Well, yeah, that'd be a different angle. That's like way out of. That's a rabbit hole. That's another one that we'd be digging. That we should. So yeah,
Mr. Murphy, I'm going to bring you up here. You and I need to talk shop, brother. It's been a long time since we talked shop. Let's just cut to the chase, Mike. You and me. We know it's not a worker. Okay, we know that it's not a worker. Okay, nobody's working an angle here. Nobody got pissed off over an angle and is going to kill the guy over work. Okay, something happened here in real life, real time. What happened? What could have been so tragically wrong with this man's life that somebody wanted him dead? And this is just you and me talking.
I don't think they wanted him dead per se. I think Nancy got involved because, let's face it, she was moving pills. She was up on charges of a Ponzi scheme. I think it was more about her than it was Chris and the kid. And I think they just happened to be in the way.
Tara May writes, did anyone know that the Undertaker was in Freemasonry when he was a kid, a club called the Damoli Club? Absolutely, I knew that. Since Freemasonry have been proven to do stuff, maybe it's him. Well, Freemasons do a lot of stuff. But one thing that they're sworn not to do is murder. Right. They can kill in self-defense. They can kill over the honor of a family member, but they're not allowed to commit cold-blooded murder on a stranger. Okay, and since that's exactly what this would have been, I don't know if you could ever place Benoit and the Undertaker together. I don't think they've ever been in the ring together.
Let me just say something.
Please do.
This whole, and I've been hearing a lot of it lately, this whole, the Illuminati and the Freemasons, yeah, they're all hanging out with Jimi Hendrix and Jim Morrison on an island over the weekends, partying it up and playing music, okay? Stop it. I know a lot of guys that are Masons, and guess what? They're normal people.
Okay? I love you, Murph.
They're not, it's like, just stop with this. It's the Illuminati. It's the Masons.
I know. Now the chat room. now the chat room is going, conspiracy crazy. Oh my God.
Oh no. He opened up a Pandora's box.
Here we go. Satanic sacrifice. Maybe he was a satanic sacrifice. Maybe somebody had to make it, I know, right?
Maybe Kevin Sullivan did it after all, but he hired somebody to do it. Who knows?
Willard, can I ask you a question about this purple sky? Okay, I'm assuming purple sky is a woman, because no self-respecting man would call himself purple sky. Okay, number one. Number two, Why do you keep promoting her on my show? Please don't do that, because I'm starting to get PO'd. All right? Thank you. I appreciate you, brother. Go ahead. Go ahead, Bill. You got something to say? Say it.
No, I was just going to say maybe it was Kevin. Now they're going to do it the conspiracy theory. Maybe it was Kevin Sullivan that did it after all, but he hired somebody to do it. You never know.
Well, no, he's already been cleared. He took a polygraph. Okay, well, polygraph is not admissible.
No, it's not.
But he took at least 3 polygraphs we know of.
Yeah.
Did you order the hit? No. Did you do the hit? No. Did you kill Chris Benoit? No. Did you kill Nancy Benoit? No. Did you kill Daniel? No. He passed.
But there's a way to pass
Kevin
it.
Sullivan. I've had Kevin Sullivan on this show. Okay? Kevin Sullivan's a lot of things, but he ain't a killer.
There's a way to fake polygraphs, so sometimes.
So what?
There's a way to fake them, though.
What are you talking about?
Fake a polygraph test? There's a way to fake them.
You can beat a polygraph.
Yeah, there's a way to beat them. Yeah.
Of course you can beat a polygraph. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're not admissible in court.
Yeah.
But when you pass 3 of them, the probability is that you're telling the truth is what we're getting at. We got a new listener, Edgelock. I think Vince knew this was a hit, and he had the police and other people involved sweep this under the rug and blame Benoit on the roid. You know what? Edgelock, me and Mr. Murphy have been saying that since day fucking one. Yes. Since day one.
Well, I've changed my opinion.
Uh-oh.
Trump did it. It's Trump's fault.
Don't you blame our Trump. Don't blame our Trump. Right?
Trump did it.
Amelia, he's getting blamed for everything else. Blame this on him too.
Yep. Donald Trump did it.
Uh-oh. No.
Well, we already know that Donald Trump and Vinnie Mac are, they're thicker than thieves.
Right.
They've been friends for 50 years.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's probably the person that tried.
Hold on, Amelia. Nunya Biz says it was a combination of reasons. They killed Owen and they killed them over the drug investigations and because of Kevin too. I'll give you this, and I've said this before. Vince McMahon has a lot of blood on his hands. I believe Owen Hart fell to his death intentionally. I believe one of the people responsible for him dying was Vince Russo. I believe the other person responsible was Vince McMahon for not stopping that fucking show when he had the chance to. That's the first thing. As far as Kevin Sullivan, I'm going to go nay on this one. I can't do it. I can't say Kevin did this. I can't say Kevin was involved. I'm more apt to believe that Mike Graham was involved than Kevin Sullivan, to be honest with you. Why?
Was Kevin Sullivan even in the same state?
He was in Washington State. Kevin Sullivan, Mike, lives off the coast of. Listen to me. Hold on a minute. Because I know where Kevin lives. I've talked to him. He's been on the show. Mm-hmm. Kevin Sullivan lives off the coast of Seattle, Washington. Yeah. He lives on an island off the coast of Seattle. He doesn't even live in Seattle. He lives on an island offshore. That's where Kevin lives, on a fucking island. And he's been there for 40 years. 35, 40 years. Been there a long time. Mm-hmm. He and his wife live there.
Yes.
Now, did you know that, Amelia?
I heard that he had moved away from.
Please do me a favor. If you don't agree with me, don't.
No, but I know that he had moved, but I didn't know where exactly it was. But anyway, what else?
Talk to the hand.
Be quiet. Shut up. But anyway,
really?
Yeah, you heard me. But
watch this, folks. Where you going?
Say bye. But bye. Listen, and also, didn't you also say that somebody had tried to change some information on Chris Benoit's Wikipedia?
Yeah, before it happened.
Yes.
Before it happened, the day before it happened.
And guess what, folks? Where the IP address came from? Connecticut.
Came from Stamford, Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we already know that. We established that 3 weeks ago.
And so that kind of leads another to Vince McMahon as well. So there you go. Another lead goes that way. So it's just a lot of different angles going just different directions.
See, now we're getting like the wrestling crazies are coming out now in the chat room. Here you go. Now Steve Austin did it.
Yeah.
Oh,
here you go.
Christ.
Kevin, just like Steve Austin. Here you go. Hold on. Here you go. Did they ever find Chris and Nancy? Did they ever find Chris and Nancy? To my knowledge, yes. Again, to my knowledge, yes. Why do I say that? Because I'm going with the official police report as our basis of factual information. That's all we have factually to go on. We can, suppose all night long. We can, meander all night long and question all night long. But all we would have is speculation. And essentially all we've been doing is speculating. But our speculation has gotten some attention. Mr. Murphy and I struck some nerves with people a couple weeks ago.
You know that so far it's gotten so much attention on TikTok lately too. Everybody's been talking about it.
Well, we opened up the door again.
Yes, you did.
Mr. Murphy, let me bring you up here, babe. Michael, there he is. My friend Mike. Mikey, in listening to that phone call from the start, from the first one to the last clip, paint a picture for me of what you envision in your head is happening in Chris Benoit's life in that 2-3 days leading up to his death. Because you're pretty good at this, Murph.
First off, getting into my head, that's a bad neighborhood to go into.
I know. That's why I chose you.
Second,
because you're my friend and I love you.
From what I heard in that telephone call, or from that tape, I heard Chris talking to Mr. Parker. The whole experience. Could he, as far as the experience goes, could it be he was talking about getting dropped down to ECW? Could it have been, hey, I want you to come to a show. I want you to get the full experience, and it didn't work out. I definitely heard Daniel calling for his mama. I heard voices in the background, but to me, it sounded like the voices were coming from a television set because I heard somebody in those voices say something about a subpoena. What was going through Chris's mind? What was going through Chris's mind at the time in those 3 days? It's very hard to say. Because when something like that happens, your mind is all over the place.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not, you're not focused. Your mind is running down 1,000,001, like we are, 1,000,001 theories. What if I did this different? What if I turned left when I should have turned right? It could be a lot of things.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda, Mike.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Michael J. Parker is an attorney in Atlanta.
I did not know that.
Either did I till about 30 seconds ago. So, let us assume then that Chris Benoit is speaking to his attorney, Mr. Michael Parker. Okay? We already know that Nancy was being sued not only by the federal government, but she was being sued by Delta Airlines for trying to pass contraband on an airplane. And we already know that she was being accused by the government of a Ponzi scheme where she was soliciting money from people for a product that did not exist and does not exist. So we know that factually. We know because we have the court records and we showed them on this program. What we don't know is was the Benoit family in deep over their head, and how far and to whom? Because to me, it sounds like either somebody very much on the inside or somebody very much on the outside, and there's no in between on this, Whitney. It was either somebody he knew tight, like a friend, or it was a mob hit where nobody had any emotional attachment. That's how they could get away with killing a kid.
Huh.
And by the way, we had a mafia guy on the show last night. And he says the two things you never do. The two things you never do, Mikey. What did he say?
Women and kids.
No women, no kids. Whoever did this was some vicious kind of cold, because they killed his wife and the kid. Okay? That's a special kind of place in hell for somebody like that. That's crazy stuff.
You know what? I was just thinking it would make sense of her being tied up, killing the wife, killing the kid, and making him watch.
Unless she was the one that was the hit. The hit was 4.
We have something here. Jet Fan 95. I remember watching something where Benoit had a friend who was an indie wrestler a few years younger than Chris, who lived in Georgia. Can't remember his name, Ronald, Ronnie, or Raymond. And here's the person's name. Ray Rawls. Jet Fan says, thanks. Thanks for that. Here's my question, Jet Fan. What's up with the Ray Rawls? What's the connection to his passing, to Chris Benoit's passing? What does that have anything to do? If anybody has any info on Ray Rawls and why he might want Chris Benoit dead, would somebody please let us know? Because right now, all we got is a bunch of wrestling conspiracy theorists in our chat room. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Nettie's from Japan. Nettie says, really? No women, no kids. Look up Dr. Seuss. His wife committed. No, we're not going to go there, Nettie. Not this. This is not the show for it. I love you, kid, but not this one. Not on this one. Can't do it. What we are going to do, however, at 7:45 is run our first spot. Check this out.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When it comes to disasters and emergencies, it's not a matter of if, but when.
I'm relying on luck, but who knows if it'll be on my side.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Take control at ready.gov/older adults.
We are back. We've got some information to share. I know who Ray Rawls is now, and let me put the things into perspective. He wrestled under the indie name Rick Michaels. Now, I saw Rick Michaels wrestle many times. I never knew his name was Ray Rawls. I never associated that. What I'm being told here is that says let me see something. Hold on, here we go. So wasn't Ray the guy that made wrestling gear? Yeah, he did. He met up with the Benoit. He made wrestling gear, is what he used to do. You know, boots. It's, you know, I mean, Mikey, you know what I'm talking about when we say gear. And that's what Rick did on the side. That was his gig. But he was a full-time indie wrestler. Made a very good living at it too. So, Amelia, before we put an exclamation point on this, what lasting impression has this Benoit case made on you, if any?
It's made a lasting impression as far as this case is never going to be unsolved to me. It's always going to be a question of what if this, what if that, you know, what if it was a Nancy hit like everybody's been saying, or what if it was a Benoit, what if it was WWE? To me, it's always going to be unsolved. It's not going to be a murder-suicide to me.
Well, it'll never be a murder-suicide, not as long as there are 3 people died and
exactly,
and they can't prove. Well, to be a suicide, you have to prove that the guy killed himself.
Right, and to me,
and
it's
they
always
can't do that.
And
Mike Murphy, my question for you, Mr. Murphy, give me some clarity here, okay? Let me bring you up on the big camera.
Okay.
The lasting impression, and take some time to explain to people why it's important.
The lasting impression of the murder?
Of the Benoit case. From start to finish.
Mostly because
take as much time as you
need. He was well known. Chris was well known. He was famous. Had a beautiful wife, beautiful child, had a nice house, plenty of money. He worked to get it. He was at one point the underdog, the little guy that everybody could get behind. And wrestling fans live vicariously through the wrestlers.
Yes, they do.
And how can I say it? It makes a lasting impression because wrestlers and wrestling fans, you know, we lost one of our own, and we don't forget.
Yeah.
But so far, the murder is a question wrapped in a riddle, wrapped up in an enigma.
That's a fair assessment of it. I don't think there's any better assessment of it, to be quite frank with you. I don't believe we'll ever know the full truth of the Benoit case as long as a couple of things are present. As long as wrestling insiders continue to practice kayfabe the way they have. People say, well, kayfabe is dead. It's dead to the public, but inside the business, the people kayfabing each other are pro wrestlers. Prove me wrong. You can't.
Right.
That's number one. Number two, as long as Vince McMahon walks planet Earth, nobody's safe. I'm going to make that a blanket statement. The man is a degenerate with blood on his hands, a lot of blood still dripping, most of it not dry yet. He's a pariah that will stop at nothing. You're talking about a person with beyond an ego. All right? You're talking about a person who embodies the essence of narcissism. That's who Vince McMahon is. He is the ultimate, the supreme narcissist. Nothing can happen without Vince McMahon. That's his mindset. This is what you're dealing with. By the way, folks, this is my commentary for the night. So if you don't like it, you don't have to listen. You can turn the channel. But this is my commentary. And I think I'm more right than not. I think me and Mr. Murphy are on it tonight, to be honest with you. Because we've talked about this at length.
Yeah, I know one thing. There's 3 people that know who did this, and unfortunately, all 3 of them are dead.
They're all dead, Mike.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. The 3 people who know are dead.
And sadly, one of them's a child.
Here we go. Again, this popped up 5-6 times already in our chat. The Insane Cloud Posse Chris Benoit music video is what got me thinking it was a satanic sacrifice. Why is everyone so quick to jump onto the sacrifice bandwagon over here? Why couldn't it just been like, he owed money to the mob and they came to get what was theirs? Yeah, no, look, they found a large cash.
You know what, Angelo? I'll answer that.
Please do.
I saw part of that video, and first off, I'm not going to say nothing against the Insane Clown Posse. I don't listen to their music. They don't do nothing for me. That's my own personal opinion.
Right.
But on the other hand, it's like anything else. The Chris Benoit murders were out there. They were able to use it to get some publicity. I mean, let's face it, good, bad, or indifferent, any publicity is good publicity.
Right.
And they decided, well, we'll use this. It'll get attention. It'll, get us back in the public eye. It's just like the rock band Kiss. Everybody's, Kiss, the kings in Satan's service. Yeah, personally, I think it's keep it simple, stupid. But
exactly,
thank you. People will make mountains out of molehills.
Michael, I have somebody in the chat room
it's
right
a
now.
Song, and unfortunately, they made some money.
Michael, I got somebody in the chat room right now who says the mob doesn't have that kind of stroke today. Whatever was behind it was high placed with huge influence. We have a guy on the show last night that would absolutely disagree with you, Miss Nunyabiz or Mr. Nunyabiz. Louis Ferranti might highly disagree with you. I do say this though. And Spider Viking was about. And welcome back, Spider. Do y'all think more will come out now that now that Vince McMahon is out? I guess is what they're trying to say. Yeah, absolutely. Because as I just stated in my closing argument, Vince McMahon is a fucking pariah. And this, ladies and gentlemen, puts an exclamation point on the Chris Benoit murder/suicide ? For Wrestling with the Future. We will never address this again. Not until they say never. Closing the Benoit case for now is what we say. They say never say never in wrestling. Well, it's true. You never say never.
For now.
For now. But what we will promise you is that we will keep our eyes and ears open because Mr. Murphy is like, he's better than the FBI when it comes to this shit. You know? So Mike Murphy's going to be watching this for us. Absolutely. Amelia?
Yes.
Not bad tonight, kid. Good show.
I know that we're going to be talking probably more about Vince McMahon coming up pretty soon, as soon as his.
We are. We're going to delve deep. Mike Murphy and I are going to do a show probably in a couple of weeks. We're going to delve deep into who is Vince McMahon? Who is this guy that went from the
there you go.
Yeah, the devil. He went from being one of the most adored people in wrestling to the single most despised person in wrestling, right next to Vince Russo. That's how bad he's hated. Okay, and Vince Russo is not respected and he's not liked. Believe me, they don't like this guy. He's been on my show 4 times, Vince Russo.
4 times too many.
and people don't like him. You got to see when he comes off, the numbers drop. That people say, "Oh, it's Russo. Fuck, I'm not going to watch him." They do.
Usually, they would want to love
Vince
to watch
Russo.
the hate.
Vince Russo is a great guest if you want to cure insomnia.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly, because that motherfucker will put you right to sleep. Well, listen, folks, for Michael Armageddon Murphy, for Amelia Chapman, my producer at large, the Pitbull. I am the Mad Dog, Angelo DeCipio. We will see you next week with a very special episode of Wrestling with the Future, a tribute to my late co-host, Jeff the Ref Robinson. It marks 4 years.
Wow.
That we lost Jeff the Ref. I will tell everyone in the interest of full disclosure, were it not for Jeff Robinson, I'm not sitting here tonight, okay?
Yeah.
He's the reason the show is even still here. I promise that Wrestling with the Future would go on. No, I'm not blaming him. I'm giving him absolute credit.
Thank him for that. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff.
Absolutely. So, with that in mind, folks, be good to each other. God bless. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. God willing.